Hello. Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Living Abroad. My name's Alex. If this is your first time to the channel, if you're watching this right now, please do me a favor and leave a comment. Let me know if you can see me and hear me before I continue or I ramble on if nobody's here. So, in today's video, we have lots to get through. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things between Thailand and the Philippines because I've traveled to both a couple of times. I've been to Thailand 4 or 5 times, and this is my second time here in the Philippines. Right now, I'm here in Cebu City, which is part of the Philippines, of course. It's an island that's relatively big compared to the other islands. And I've been here for almost 3 weeks now, so quite some time. I feel like a long time. And I thought it was a good time because I've never actually done a comparison on the channel. And this would be a great time to start. So, yes, we have our first comment. Thank you, Thailand Mick said, hello, sir. Nice to see you stream. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that, Mick. I hope you can hear me and see me, guys. Just give me a quick thumbs up or something to indicate that you can hear me. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with just, oh, by the way, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm going to address every single one of them. So don't be shy. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. All good. Thank you. Perfect. So let's start off with the first things first, coming into the country. So Thailand right now, as I'm sure many of you guys know, has the Thailand Pass still. Right now it's April 21st. Hello, Tom. The Thailand Pass is still there, so that's really something that's holding people back from visiting Thailand. And hopefully May 1st, some of that restriction is going to be removed. Tomorrow is a big day, so keep tuned to this channel or my news channel, Traveling Abroad, where I'm going to update everybody on the entering requirements. So being on that note, Philippines is by far simpler to come into right now. All you need is the things I've done videos about this, but basically you need a passport, visa if you require one. You need $35,000 USD insurance, a pre-departure COVID test, and a One Health pass. That's all you need basically, right? So there isn't something over the top. It's just some of the things that you probably have already anyways, or it's very easy to get into. There's no quarantine requirements. This is for vaccinated travelers, by the way. There's no quarantine requirements. There's no Shop Plus hotel requirements, nothing like that. So entering the Philippines is far more simpler than entering Thailand at this specific time. Now, so that's a great thing if you're traveling. And also here in the Philippines, you can stay a lot longer. It's not like Thailand where as a tourist, you have to stay 30 days, maybe get renewal once, and then you have to leave the country and come back, which is often known as the visa run, especially given these times and the Thai pass. That's really inconvenient. Nobody's really doing that unless they're really serious about staying in Thailand, which at that point, you might as well get like a student visa or some other kind of study visa to stay there longer. But in the Philippines, you can stay here up to 3 years without leaving the country. So, of course, after your first initial 29 days or 30 days, you get an extension for an additional 30 days. So that's 2 months. And then after that, you can request to stay another month or 2 months. And then after that, you can request to get your alien card, so the ACR card, the temporary residence card, which will allow you to stay in the Philippines for 3 years. So that's the beginning of this comparison right then and there. So Philippines has the upper hand when it comes to entry requirements, duration of stay, and ease of entry. I like the Philippines. You just go to the immigration office, just like pass out that money. I don't care. Take my money. Just let me stay here without having to go through all the headaches, having to change apartments and move and all that nonsense that comes with going out of the country and coming back. So I love the Philippines for that reason. So far, Philippines won. Let's keep a track of everything, guys. So Philippines, I think this will be fun. Wins the entry +1. Let's do that. For entry and ease of stay. So whoever wants to check that out. So there's 5 viewers on this stream right now. We're just about to start. I'm going to do this as long as I need to, as long as people have questions. If you guys have any questions, write them down. If not, I'm going to continue on to the next point after a sip of my drink. All right, and I would love to know if you guys have ever been to Thailand or the Philippines, and if you have any different thoughts about what I'm saying. This is just based off my own personal experience and what I've noticed and witnessed so far. Now let's move on to the next big thing is accommodation, right? So anytime you travel, whether it's short term, long term, you need somewhere to stay, right? And this one, right off the bat, Thailand takes the cake on the accommodation, whether it's hotel, condos, villas, whatever. Thailand has much better infrastructure and you get much more for your money. And it's a lot cleaner as well as just built better and you get way more bang for your buck. So if you guys haven't seen those apartment video tours I've made, you can easily see them on the channel. You can see the difference between a Bangkok apartment compared to a Cebu or Philippines apartment. And I know it's similar in Manila and other big cities because I've been there too. And I've noticed that you get much more in Thailand than you do here in the Philippines. So Philippines take the apartment, accommodation, hotel, condo. Prices are better, quality is better, amenities are better. Thailand by far takes the cake for accommodations. Thailand Mix says, I went to Thailand at Christmas and found it very easy to enter. Yeah, so it's not about really the entry process that's difficult right now. Thailand is the risk you're taking that so many people are testing positive and having to quarantine, I think, is what's throwing a lot of people off. As far as the Thai pass itself, yeah, you just upload a bunch of stuff. It's not too difficult. But it's the risk I think most people are concerned about testing positive upon arrival, especially if the pre departure test is now no longer required. You don't know who's got COVID, who doesn't have COVID, who's sitting next to you, breathing onto you, coming to the country and having to unfortunately quarantine. Um, Pateski 78 says, I just got back from Manila. Loved it. He says, I like that everyone in Manila speaks English. So, yeah, so that's going to take me a good point to our next topic. Communication, the Philippines takes it. So let me give Thailand accommodation. Thailand gets accommodation. I can't even spell Thailand. Thailand. Definitely accommodation and renting. So Thailand gets that one, but communication definitely by far is the Philippines. If you don't know, Philippines, pretty much everybody speaks English here, guys. So this was a part of the U.S. in the past, and just from a very young age in the education system, the school system, people are taught to speak English. And right now, where I'm staying in Cebu City is called IT Park. A lot of call centers, BPOs, and things like that. So they are outsourced to the Philippines, which the calls are being taken here, and their clients are in the U.S. or other English-speaking countries. So everybody here speaks English. Communication, definitely the Philippines. Everybody speaks English, so you have a lot easier way of just traveling, asking questions, or just feeling at ease having a conversation with somebody in depth. So, guys, we're gonna get into like dating, women, all that stuff right now. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do me a favor very quickly, hit that subscribe button, and let's move on to the next one. Suave Master said, what's the cost of late night personal entertainment? I do not know. So I don't pay for hookers, prostitutes, or anything like that. But from my understanding, I asked somebody yesterday. I was just curious. I think it's the cheapest. It starts at like $10. So if you want to have a prostitute come visit you and help you out with your night, I think it goes as low as 500. But I mean, I don't know if you want to be paying somebody $10 for that. I don't know how much I trust that. If that's what you're asking for, I don't know. But late night entertainment, if you want to go clubbing, bars, whatever, I don't know what the exact pricing is because I don't drink and I don't go clubbing unless my friends want to go. I don't know, to be honest, but I think it's probably around the same. I mean, just like any country, you can go ball out till you fall out, like balls to the wall, go like rooftop patios and do whatever you got to do. You can spend 10,000 US dollars a night if you really want to fucking go all out. Or you can just spend like a few dollars on a beer or a drink if you want to do that kind of thing. So that's up to you guys. There's no limit, but I think it's still a lot cheaper than any country in the West or Europe or anything like that. Yeah, that's what that is, Suave. Pateski says Philippines has casinos, Thailand does not. Yeah, very good point. Thanks for mentioning that. I didn't know. Actually, there's two casinos I noticed here. So yeah, that's one more thing if you're into like gambling or just having fun like that, entertainment, going to the slot machines, poker. The Philippines does have casinos. Unfortunately, Thailand does not. I used to actually work for a casino. If you guys didn't know that, now you know a little something about me. I used to be a casino manager, so I love poker and stuff like that. But I've kind of gotten away from that as I've gotten older. Tom Jones, just curious. I like that studio in Thailand. Was that 6 month lease? What if you want to live 2 or 3 months? What would they rent out for that short time? Like a month? Do they need a deposit? So I have a video on the channel. Just look up there. There's 12 ways or 6 ways of renting an apartment in Thailand or in Bangkok. That was short term, only 1 month, and I only paid $260. Think about that. So even hotel rooms are one night, 260. It's not even lavish, but to stay there for 260 in that beautiful apartment, brand new, clean, mint for 260 a month, ridiculously cheap. It was only 1 month. Go on to Airbnb, type in the dates that you want, message the host privately, say, hey, buddy, I'm responsible. I don't drink. I don't smoke, whatever you got to say. I'm a teacher, whatever your situation is. Say, I'm here by myself and I'll treat your place with respect. Would you consider this much money? And most of the time they would say yes. You simply go there. You don't have to pay any deposit. That was it for me. Guys, there's 11 people watching, not a single like. Hit that like button. You guys will make me feel sad. Sad. Do me a favor, hit that like button, and let's continue on to the next question. Roy, I think especially American men prefer the Philippines because the English speaking girls. Also, since World War II, the U.S. have had military base and many ex servicemen live there. Yeah, that's a very good point, Roy. When I walk around, I see a lot of older, young, not older, young, I see a lot of older white men, which I assume are from America because that's just what I observe, and they speak English and their accent sounds American. Yeah, that's absolutely right. So people that retire, they want to come here for easier life, cheaper cost of living, live off the pension, whatever. It's a great lifestyle, guys. If you want to come here to just like rent a little home somewhere, meet a lovely woman. Here, the woman, they treat you like gold if you treat them nicely and with respect. We'll get into the women and stuff like that in a bit, but let's continue on with some of these questions before we move on to the next comparison. Tom Jones says, "What are the best things you saw in Thailand?" Whoa, that's a great question. Larry, what's up, man? Thank you for the hello. So the best things I saw in Thailand, it has to be definitely the culture. Like in Thailand, if you're coming from Canada or the US, the people are genuinely polite. They're Buddhist, so they're just better. I mean, this is a very generalization of a whole country, but the people are smiling. They're much like friendlier. I'm talking about the local people, not the tourist scammers that are taxi drivers or some people that try to take advantage of you in like really touristic areas. I'm talking if you're living long term or like 1 month or 2 months in a local place, the people are extremely friendly. They're very helpful. And the best things I saw were definitely the beaches, right? So I went to Krabi, Phuket, Koh Samit, Koh Samui. So the water, the color, just the beauty of the nature, the scenery, the mountains, everything, the sand, right? Life slows down completely in Thailand. So if you guys want that kind of lifestyle, I don't know how old you are, but if that's something you want, Thailand's still like number one spot in the world for that. Like, there's a lot of other places too. So it comes down to your own personal experience. But Thailand takes like it's just better overall for right now, the way I'm thinking. It's a better place to live, especially if it's your first time visiting a country abroad. I think Thailand still takes, it's the winner for now for me. Let's go on to the next one. In terms of weather, in August, is better to go in Bangkok, Phuket, or Manila, Cebu, Boracay. Larry, I'm not really sure, buddy. I have very bad memory when it comes to like the months and dates. I know they have dry season and wet season, and even though right now it's supposed to be dry season, we got hit with a typhoon here in Cebu, so it was raining nonstop for like 10 days straight. There was flooding, and lots of people, unfortunately, like over I think 157 people last I heard lost their lives due to like flooding and mudslides and things like that in some areas in like smaller towns. So weather-wise, it's not really a for sure thing. Just do a quick Google search. I'm sure it'll tell you what are the best months to visit. Unfortunately, personally, I don't have like firsthand knowledge except for what I'm doing right now. Okay, so those are some questions, guys. If you have anything you want to know about the two countries, write them down. So far, we talked about ease of entry, duration of entry, like stay in the country that you're visiting. Manila, not Manila. The Philippines is the winner for entry requirements as well as staying there without doing visa runs. Communication, of course, Philippines, everybody speaks English. As mentioned before, they're part of the US. They're colonized, I think, by them or something to do with that. I'm not a historian, but I know US has a huge influence on the Philippines in the past, especially after the Second World War. So that's the Philippines takes the communication. Accommodation, Thailand wins for sure, easily. I think those are the three things that we talked about so far. Now let's go ahead and talk. Oh, we have Andrew here. Oh, Thomas, sorry. Thomas is here. Morning, Alice. Good to see you. Um, Joe's the Joe's the prepaid 5G mobile service there compared to or how's the prepaid? Oh, so let's go on to the next thing. How is the prepaid internet service here in the Philippines compared to Thailand? Thailand, the winner for sure. Thailand 5G service, fast, reliable, unlimited, cheaper. Thailand is much better for cell phone internet, home internet, reliability, speed, and cost. So what else do you need? Thailand wins easily. I think the Philippines infrastructure hasn't quite caught up with Thailand. And here, when I upload my video, sometimes it takes like 5 hours, guys. That's a long time to upload a 5 to 6 minute video. And I'm getting a home internet that came with this apartment. It's supposed to be 200 megabits. Some people have only 10 or 15. This is supposed to be like top of the line. And sometimes the speed drops. Like I can't complain. I mean, of course I do, but I don't want to be that tourist that complains all the time. But the internet service is really bad, especially when I'm trying to like upload my viewers or keep them up to date with Thailand Pass stuff on the Traveling Abroad channel. I feel a little bit like I'm letting them down by not putting up my videos in time, but it's really not me if I have to wait 5 hours to upload a video. And good luck trying to go to a cafe. That kind of it doesn't. It's not around here. It's not like Thailand where they have specific co-working facilities. I'm sure there are some here, but it's not as common. I'm saying. So yeah, I'm rambling on, but Thailand is by far better for internet. So let me write that down too, guys. Now, when I say internet, I mean mobile service, home service, speed, all the stuff I just mentioned. So today's Thursday, right? Tomorrow's Friday. Thailand Mix says, what time is the CCSA meeting tomorrow? So let me kind of give you guys a background story about that. The CCSA will meet tomorrow, Friday the 22nd, to discuss whether they're going to reduce some of the requirements, the restrictions coming into Thailand. Now, that meeting is going to happen in the morning, usually by around 1 p.m. Thailand time. The video, the English briefing summary is going to be released. I might have some information before that, but I'm going to wait till I actually see the video itself, see the video myself before having to rely on third-party sources for information. So hopefully by 3 p.m., I'm hoping 3 p.m. Thailand time, I'll upload my video. So I'm going to say afternoon tomorrow, the meeting results will be released, and I'll have something for you guys on traveling abroad if you want to keep up with that. Polar Bear, morning. Morning to you, sir. Let me go ahead and go up there, make sure I didn't miss anything, because I want to answer all your questions, guys. Thailand internet. Mike Silva says, so many vloggers have made this type of video. Maybe it depends on a person's perspective, age. Of course, Mike, this is just one guy's perspective. And yeah, I'm not here trying to remake the wheel or something. I'm telling you guys my perspective right now in the Philippines and being in Thailand, real time. You know, things have changed a lot in the past 2 years as well. So if we're going to get into a lot more topics as this video goes along, but this is just my personal perspective. No need to get offended or mad, or whoever doesn't want to watch it, they don't have to watch this. This is my personal opinion. And of course, everybody's, like you said, age and, you know, budget and what they want from life is different. That's one more thing, guys. What I want is very different from what you want. Like, I don't know why you're traveling. I know why I'm traveling, but my perspective can be completely different than yours. I might go somewhere and say, oh, this is an amazing place. And you might be like, this place is shit. You know, so it really comes down to why you're traveling. Are you coming here to bang bitches for whoremongering? Are you coming here to see like beautiful ocean and water and go scuba diving? Are you coming here to experience the culture and really immerse yourself into the local like neighborhoods? So it really depends on why you're coming here, and you can't really compare your, you know, desires and wants to someone else's. I'm giving you my perspective. Like personally, I've mentioned this many times. I'll say it again. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't pay for prostitutes. I don't do any of that. Now, does that mean I'm not interested in women? Of course it doesn't. But it means like I might not be associated with some of those areas. Like I don't go to Red Light District, Mango Street. I didn't go to like Soy Cowboy. I mean, I went there to see it, but I didn't hang around there. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just not my thing right now. So that's where my perspective's coming from. Nightlife comparison. Let me get to all these guys. The questions are pouring in right now. If you want to use a super chat and super stickers so I can highlight those, feel free to do so. You also support me. That'll be great. But of course, don't feel obligated to. I'm going to try to answer every single one of these. Next, I've just came back from Koh Phangan, and it's became my favorite island in Thailand. My favorite in the Philippines would be Siquijor, then Palawan. Yeah, Palawan's a beautiful place. I've been to Coron and El Nido. I will try to go to Siquijor and Siargao this time around. I'm just waiting to make some friends for the weather because I'm traveling long term, guys. I don't need to be doing something every day. That's why on the channel you don't see too many like beaches and stuff yet. I'm gonna get to that eventually, but right now, but those are some great places you mentioned for sure. Who else is next here? Pateski says nightlife comparison. Nightlife, from what I've seen and what I've visited, Thailand is the winner for nightlife for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead, just making that very simple. Because you know, although I don't participate in these things, I've visited them and I've been part of it. It's just not my regular routine, let's say. Um, which country has better infrastructure or well developed compared to Western countries? Sunny G, Thailand. I remember the first time, 2014, I went to Thailand and I was blown away with what I saw, technologically speaking. Thailand is far more advanced than some country, or some of you might think if you haven't been there. They have extremely well like railway system, transportation system. They're well equipped when it comes to like internet and things like that. Their malls will put some of the malls in Canada to shame. So yeah, by far Thailand is better than the Philippines when it comes to those things you just mentioned. A lot closer to the West than the Philippines is right now, from what I've seen. And yeah, so Thailand wins that one as well. Oh no, Thailand is the winner so far. So Thailand plus one infrastructure. I can't spell, but oh, I spelled it right apparently. Um, next. Oh yeah, by the way, Thailand uses like electronic payments and all these things way before the West or Canada at least. So they're ahead of the game in a lot of areas. Um, Roy Good said, I think you can buy a special package. Another vlogger gets much better service. Do some research for that. Special package? What do you mean? Can you clarify what you mean by special package? Do you know how much you spend traveling around Thailand to see the different sites, water taxis, to the different islands? Yeah, those really depend on like um for me, I was with Palm, and her and I. Well, she's a local, so she knew all the tricks and talked to the people and all that. So to be honest, I don't know, but you can. But for like $60 to $100 you can have a full day tour, even cheaper depending on what you're like buying. So think of it. Imagine spending $60 to have a full day entertainment on an island. You can't beat that, right? You get picked up from your hotel, you're given lunch, and they take you from island to island, and you get a chance to meet other travelers as well. So I'd say between $60 to $100, depending on specifically which activity you're doing, which is a steal for me, right? So, and you can even get cheaper maybe, but the way I see it, it's a once in a lifetime for many people. I highly recommend doing that. Okay, where are we at? Miramar says you can't do a full comparison of the Philippines with Thailand if you only have been to Cebu. BGC is way nicer than anywhere in Bangkok. Even the nicest areas of Bangkok look Manila's third downtown. Oh, okay. Well, you're right. Maybe I can do a full comparison. I wasn't talking about full regional comparison. I'm talking about as far as cost of living, people, all the other stuff. But yeah, you're right. Nobody can really do a full comparison if you want to be technical about it. Nobody's visited every single area in every single country. Yeah. Next is which country has the most beautiful ladies? Okay, here we go. So we're gonna get to some adult stuff. If you're too soft and you're gonna get offended easily or you disagree, you can. But this is my own experience. So when it comes to women, if you're a loser in the West and you want to come here and you want to find yourself a dime piece or someone really attractive, you can do that here easily in the Philippines. You just have to spend money. So let's take it back a step. Like depends what you mean women, right? So women in both countries, they don't need you per se just because you're a Westerner. They're successful women in both countries that have their own jobs, their own cars, their own houses. They don't need your money or the fact that you come from a Western country. Now, if you're coming here because let's say you're a little bit older and you want to find a nice like girl, a younger girl to like hang out with, yes, of course, but you're just gonna attract those type of women for you, right? So what do I mean? Like this is such a wide difference. So it comes down to personal preference. Thai women are much slimmer when it comes to physical appearance. So they're usually slim and they don't have as much curves as Filipinos do. So the Philippines here must be the Hispanic genes or something, all that mating that went out back in the days. But Filipino women are shorter and they're much more curvy. So if that's something you like, and they're still thin compared to Western women for sure, but not as thin as Thai women. And I don't know how else to describe their appearance. For me, I don't really have a preference. I think they're both beautiful, but that's something that's an obvious like attribute that I've noticed physically. Thai women are much more thin and slim. Filipinos are more curvy. When it comes to like conservativeness and how freaky they get in the bedroom, maybe I think Thai women still need some training, and Filipino women are a little bit more open and I don't know what the word is, but like skilled, I should say. Regardless, I think it's like, of course, it depends on every individual. Don't get me wrong. I don't know, but I'm just saying, generally speaking. By the way, guys, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel because next video or two videos from now, I'm doing a video about me asking a random Filipino woman if they think I'm handsome. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun and exciting to see what people's reactions are for the random stranger asking them if I'm handsome and if they're going to date me. And it's gonna be a lot of things like that involved moving forward. I'm gonna do a lot more personal interviews with people. So that's just something I've noticed when it came to like physical appearance, thin, like flat chest, flat ass, compared to curvy, big old titties and a round butt. This is getting really adult, but I'm a grown man. If you guys, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Um, this answer could land you in trouble. Not anymore. I know. I got to stop thinking that way. I have to like be honest. I can't hold back. It is what it is. This is just what I've noticed. Right. It's not something that should be taken to heart. too personally, and depending on who's watching, I guess. Hey, I'm just doing this for you guys. You're right. This is gonna get me in trouble after. My phone's gonna be. Let me just see right now. I don't even know where my phone is. Why you ask me that question? I guess I said we're gonna compare full things. Yeah, nobody's messaging me, so I think I'm still safe. All right, guys. So women, let's talk about personalities, right? So I remember when I went to Thailand the first time. Oh, so let me before I continue. Sunny G says, "How old are you, and which country girl will you like to marry?" First of all, I'm not really sure if I want to get married. And I'm 35, and any country woman is fine with me as long as she has a sense of humor. I like a girl that can laugh. I don't want to sit here and she's just quiet the whole time while I'm trying to be funny and making faces. I'm usually not serious, guys. This is just like my YouTube personality. I just because we're having a conversation, I feel like I'm talking to like friends. But like usually I like a girl with sense of humor, of course, someone that can laugh with me, joke with me. We can just like that's my biggest priority, a sense of humor. And I don't care which country she's from, as long as we're compatible and want the same things, I would marry an alien for all I care. So it's not a big deal for me personally. And yeah, that's it. And it doesn't matter which religion, country, race, or anything that like that. For me, it doesn't matter. Now let's go back to the behavior, personalities. But before I do that, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I got to keep doing this, right? I'm trying to grow this channel so I can do this more often. It feels weird shilling it every time, but why not while I'm here? So let's talk about the women. I remember the first time I went to Thailand, I was blown away with like how much Thai women care about you. They're genuinely considerate. Like it's difficult to try to explain. Like in Canada, women now I have think they've kind of like overcorrected equal rights to the point where they talk down to men. This is once again very general stuff, but like there's difference between independent and being rude, right? Like for example, I can't approach a woman in Canada without getting either a weird look or like, who are you? Why are you here? What do you want from me? That mentality of guys are bad and evil and assholes still there exists. Over here, people are much more polite, both in Thailand and the Philippines. Women are much more approachable, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Western women being that way, but I'm saying as a single man, you can no longer almost do like face to face conversation with a stranger because it's seen as creepy. Times have changed, generations have changed, and you have to learn to adapt to it. And that's why most people go online to date people. Of course, over here, I've approached like probably 10 or 15 girls here by now, and not a single one of them has made it weird like facial expression or wasn't open to talking to me or happy to see me or something like that. So approachability is like something that's very different than Western countries or at least the US and Canada from my experience. Larry, I'm not sure about the Philippines. They do have electronic payment system. I'm pretty sure they are accepted, but not as widely as Thailand for sure, because I don't see any logos or stickers or anything like that, even at major shops that say we accept Apple Pay or Google Pay. But in Bangkok, which I was staying, which was more acceptable, I can't compare it to Manila so much because I didn't spend much time there. But yeah, that's something maybe if somebody traveled there can mention it, whether Apple Pay or Google Pay is widely accepted in Manila. So going back to the women, right? So I'm sure many people want to know what's up with the women in these countries, right? So I want to kind of like put this out there because a lot of maybe not senior, older vloggers or for lack of better word, fuck boys, they have different opinions, and this is a very like a wide spectrum, right? So you have to realize if you're coming here just for the women, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But just know that those are the type of girls you're gonna attract. If you're going to the bars and the clubs, most likely the girls that are there for either money, free drinks, and most of them are they're gonna be there for a good time. Are gonna be with their friends or coworkers or colleagues. You'll easily be able to tell who's there for you and your time and your money, and who's there to just either have a good time with their friends. And you're going to attract those kind of people, whichever one you kind of engage with, right? So women can be categorized in very different ways, right? But the real successful, good, well mannered, and marrying type of women are probably not going to be at the clubs and the bars on the red light districts on a random Wednesday night. Once again, this is generalizing, but statistically speaking, they're either at work or going to sleep so they can work tomorrow morning. They have their own jobs and things like that. So be very clear of what you want from someone and what you want from yourself before you get yourself in a position where you're like, oh no, what did I do now? Yeah. That's a no, Larry. Pateski as well. Travel. He says no for the Apple Pay and Google Pay. I guess very not very likely, as I assume. Which country is better for you as a brown, non-Asian man? Very good question, Gio. The Philippines. If you're colored, if you're brown, if you're not white, the Philippines is better. Of course, there's still a very, very high percentage of people that want white men here and whatever. But I think, from my perspective, what I've seen, people are a lot more open here than Thailand. That's just the way it is. It's just a cultural thing, maybe. I think because a lot of Filipinos, they go to Saudi Arabia, they go to the Middle East, they go to Turkey, they go to Dubai, they go to all these places for being nannies, teachers. I think they're just a lot more exposed and well-rounded, cultured people. Not cultured people, well-rounded. Um, they've been exposed to brown people a lot more, so they're much more interested than the other and than Thai women. Of course, Thais they don't care either, but on a scale of which is better, I think definitely the Philippines. Um, what's next? Gov says better as far as fitting in, not getting hassled and with women. Yeah, so I just answered that, Gio. Definitely the Philippines, because even the English skills, the conversation level is much more in depth, right? If someone knows you better, they're gonna be more attracted to you. It's just a natural way. And the Philippines, because the language barrier, sorry, in Thailand, because the language barrier is still there sometimes. Not everybody speaks English fluently. You can't really express yourself or get to know them as easily. Therefore, that it's not as easy to fit in. And Filipinos will openly accept you. Sometimes when I walk around here, guys, I feel like a celebrity. Like I'm not tall. I'm very short. I'm only like I have no shame or no embarrassment. I'm like 5'4", maybe 5'5". I'm not that tall, and I'm not obviously white or Caucasian. There's nothing special about me. But many people here are very open, smiling, waving. There's security guards talking to me, random people waving. They just like they say, "Hey, YouTube, YouTube," because they see me sometimes recording something. Over here, people are genuinely interested in you and you as a character rather than just somebody. I think Philippines is much easier to like kind of fit into. What's next? Um, Larry says thanks to Pateski. MT Sutpin. Yeah, I can never know your name. Sorry, bro. My Thai fiance has such a kind heart, but I didn't find her in a bar. Look in the villages and rural areas, I think. Yeah, like we mentioned before, there's nothing wrong with girls that go to the bars. People need to have fun too. But statistically speaking, you're gonna kind of draw what you put out there. So if you're out there looking to like smash as many women as possible, you're gonna find women that smash as many guys as possible. So if you're out there at the library, at a supermarket, talking to a local vendor, you're probably gonna get a decent woman. It just really depends on what you want. If you're here for 2 weeks, guys, do whatever you want. Do what you got to do. If you're freaking living a 9 to 5 job back home and just want to have fun, there's nothing wrong with that. Come over here, just spend a few $100s, and you have the best time of your life. If you want to find a woman, I don't recommend the bars like to marry. I'm saying I'm just personally just something that's very obvious to me, but maybe not to everyone. What else? Um, Norman says Philippines sucks when you need to withdraw cash. ATMs are either offline or has a minimum. Okay, so here we go. This is another thing that I. By the way, this towel I just came from the gym, so that's why. Anyways, this is a very embarrassing story. I rented this place and I told the woman I'm going to pay her cash this much money. She says, "Okay, great." I took a taxi from my hotel to the apartment and I stopped by 3 different ATM machines. None of them could either give me money or offline. And I had to eventually meet the woman because I was late. So I told her, here is like most of the money. I just owed her 3,000 pesos, which was $60. And she said, well, we agreed on an amount. I'm like, honestly, I know, but I went to 3 different places and I didn't want to be late. And I felt so unprofessional and it just felt wrong. And it wasn't even my fault. In the Philippines, guys, 90, like, I don't want to say 90, a lot of things don't work. So if you're coming here thinking things to be smooth and processed fast and easy, forget about it. If you're coming here, you have to know you're going to be waiting in line for everything from the grocery store to McDonald's to getting money out to getting on anything you do, you have to wait. So your patience needs to expand, guys. Things do not run smoothly. They don't operate as they do in the West. You have to be willing to wait for your delivery, for immigration, for everything. You have to wait. So remember that. And not everything functions. I bought a coffee machine and I went to go get beans, coffee beans, from a store that sells specifically coffee beans. They're open. I go there for coffee beans. They're like, sorry, we're out of coffee beans. I'm just saying. I went to a bubble tea shop to get bubble tea, like, milk tea. Like, sorry, we don't have no pearls. It was 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, what do you mean? You ran out of pearls? Like, that's your whole entire business. Like, and that's not, anyways. So you'll see all that stuff in the videos coming up. So yeah, definitely, I agree with that. Functionality, Thailand wins again. Um, Norman says, so true, 200 bucks minimum. Yeah, there's a big minimum too. I was lucky enough to find some ATMs here that give up to 20,000 pesos, which is like 400 bucks, I think. But yeah, which is more dangerous? Whoa, dangerous. Good question, Gio. Depends what you consider dangerous. For safety, physical safety, I don't know. I have no idea because I never felt unsafe in any of the countries, or in both countries. If you go to certain regions, from my understanding of what I hear on the news, of course it's unsafe. People are being killed in Pattaya, Phuket, tourists just being either shot or stabbed or something. I read about it sometimes, maybe once every other week, if you get yourself in bad position or you get drunk or something. But I haven't read anything about the Philippines, but that's also because I'm not really following the Philippines news as closely as I am Thailand news. So I don't know. Maybe somebody else can mention some personal experiences. Which one's safer? I have no idea, guys. I think they're both relatively safe if you keep your head in the game. Don't be in places you don't have to be in. You don't do drugs, and yeah, don't argue with people. People don't like to lose face in these countries, both the Philippines and Thailand. Don't get into arguments. You're not in the West. You don't have the law on your side. Don't feel like you're, you know, top shit. You'll die easily. If you get into an argument with someone, you don't know what they're capable of, and you try to like pretend, or you feel like you're in the West. Your right is on your side, or you have the upper hand. Don't think that way. Tom says, "How long do you plan to live here in the Philippines?" Tom. Another question that can get me in trouble, but a few months at least. Let's just say no more than three, probably. I'm not sure unless something major happens in my life, if I meet somebody or a business opportunity or something, but no more than 3 months because I'm trying to see every country in the world, guys. If you guys want to see my travels, that's not even a joke. Like after maybe a couple more months, I'm going to try to go to Japan, Korea, India, and after maybe in Vietnam, Cambodia. Once these restrictions are removed from some of these countries, and then I'm going to go to South Latin America, right? So I'm going to start with Mexico, Brazil, Chile, Argentina, all those countries. So, guys, hit that subscribe button if you want to see me and what I do in these channels and these videos. That'll mean a lot to me. What's next? Roy says, in general, foreigners will never attract the higher class women in either countries. Also, girls that haven't mixed with foreigners can be shy and difficult. Yeah, Roy, you're right. You're absolutely right. People that are like I would say people that are like over here successful, whether they have good careers, good families, good jobs, they still have their own values, and they don't really care for people that come from another country that make $1,000 a month and they think they're top shit or hot shit. Those people have their own like culture they want to preserve. This is just a random thought, but I'm saying yeah, you're right. They mingle with their own kind of people. Like unless you get into that group of people, into that circle with as a respected guy from abroad, maybe in a business meeting or meet someone through work or someone, naturally you're not going to attract the high valued women because they're just going to be with their own circle of friends. They're not going to be hanging around bars randomly. They're going to be attending proper places and not be probably within your circle of people. Now, if you meet them online and you get to know them online, and then yeah, sure, why not? But as far as like yeah, you're not going to attract the best of what Thailand and Philippines has to offer unless you really try and put yourself out there, or if you stand above the rest. Are you looking for a lady to marry in Thailand or the Philippines? No, sir. I'm not looking for anybody to marry at all. Not yet. Not that I know of. Uh, there's a BPI ATM. Some will let you withdraw 20K. Norma says, yep. Larry, what Filipino food have you tried? Okay, going on to the food portion of this comparison. Now, I've tried several, I don't know the names of them. I've tried several Filipino dishes like I don't know, sisig or lampui. I can't. Sorry, guys. I'm it's very bad and embarrassing. I haven't tried much because I hate to keep making the weather the excuse, but it was really tough for me to get out. So I'm getting delivery and stuff like that. And I don't think that's really Filipino food, right? You have to probably go to a nice local restaurant. But there's no question. I challenge somebody to tell me that Filipino food is better than Thai food. Thai food is by far like miles ahead of Filipino food. Like that's no disrespect to the Filipino people, but Thai food is just like world class compared to Filipino food. I found Filipino food to be a little bit too sweet, a little bit too vinegary, Very, very little cooking process. There's not as much flavors and spices in there. So Thai food, you can go outside in Bangkok, any city in Thailand, right outside your street, and find street food everywhere. Delicious food like barbecued stuff, noodles. You can find like all kinds of like different things like pad krapao, pad thai, like even street coffee, whatever you want. Fruit is like ample everywhere. In the Philippines, unfortunately, your options are very limited. To be honest, I think I've only had like one Filipino dish that I liked, and I've been eating KFC for like 3 weeks straight. I know it's pretty sad, but it's the truth. But hopefully, I'll make some friends to try some real Filipino food so I can do a proper comparison. However, I don't think I can eat anything that'll change my mind. So, Philippines loses in the food category as far as price, quality, taste, everything else too. What Filipino food? Okay, so watch out for the off-duty cops here in the Philippines. Speaking of off-duty cops, so I was walking in the IT park, which is like a little district area, with my camera, and one of the marshals waved me over. I said, I thought it was because I wasn't wearing my mask because I was outside and nobody was around me. But he said, "Oh, I can't film there. I need a permit." I'm like, "All right." That's something I noticed. But yeah, apparently, but off-duty cops is something to be watched everywhere. Most are crooks, okay? Roy says he uses Citibank ATM. You can draw out more money. Certain banks are better than others. Thanks, Roy. So, guys, keep that in mind if you come here. Citibank is the one to try. Casey Diaz says the attractive upper class Spanish and Chinese Filipinos don't usually mix with foreign men unless they're diplomats or billionaires. It's hard to get a good looking, classy woman there. Yeah, very true, Casey. Here's the thing, guys. Women here are attractive. They're all like pretty, right? Like it's nothing. If you're in your 20s and you're relatively healthy, how could you not be attractive, right? That's the way I feel. But let's just go all out. I don't even care anymore who's watching, who's listening, whatever. I'm going to categorize women from what I see in several different categories. One is you're classy, educated, wealthy. Uh, let's start again. Educated, wealthy, family-oriented women that you're probably not going to meet unless you have some sort of inside connection or just happen to meet. And they won't even be online dating because it's beneath them. They have their own people that are interested in them in their own circles at work, whatever they're going to. So that's one class. The second is your working class women, right? So they come from the provinces, they come to the major cities to work in like call centers, whatever, and like things like that. And the third one is your like province girls, they live like in little, villages, or maybe they don't have jobs, they're not as educated, they're not just financially stable. So those are the three main. Oh, sorry. And the fourth is your just any type of girl, but they want an experience with a foreign man, right? So they just want to know what's it like to sleep with a guy that's from the U.S. or Canada. They want to know what's it like just to experience, to either just for themselves or to tell their friends, "Oh, I slept with a foreigner, I dated a foreigner, I met a foreigner, whatever." So in my opinion, here in the Philippines at least, there are those four kinds of women, right? So you have to ask yourself, the person you're meeting, which of those four categories do they fall under? Now, this is very, very bigoted, ignorant, and very douchey of me to say, but it is what it is. I'm just telling you guys what I've seen, what I've noticed. Of course, there's a fifth that don't fall under any category. They're just their own whatever they are. But those are the main type of people that I've kind of like seen from what I've observed, right? And if you want any of these, you just kind of understand which they fall under. Now, do you want to marry one of these? Do you want to just have fun with one of these? Do you want to make friends to go to the island and just have a good time? Do you not mind spending some money on someone that maybe can use a little bit of affection or just to be treated like a woman, right? So, but don't expect some of them to change categories overnight and just become a whole different person they are. Like this stuff. So, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. And do you think I'm out of line here? Or I want to know because I've noticed these things and I just something that needs to be said, right? You can't think you're gonna come here with your $1,000 pension and you're gonna be like fucking king shit over here, and everybody's gonna like bow to your feet. No one's gonna care about you. If nobody cared about you in your country, nobody's gonna care about you here unless you're like one of the, like someone said, a billionaire, a diplomat, somebody special. But you can live a good life here with that salary and find a good woman that's coming from the village or just a working class woman, something like that. Miramar says you never want kids. Honestly, I don't know. Sometimes I think about kids, but if I did want kids, I'd want them to come with me, travel the world, get like freaking exposed to everything that's out there. I don't want my kids to be in one. I don't know. I don't know if I want kids or not. I have no idea. I don't even know if I want a wife first. So, how much do they charge? So, as I mentioned earlier, I don't pay for sex. I've never have paid for sex. I never will pay for sex. I dare someone to prove me otherwise. Whoever's seeing this that I've visited before, saw before. That's not something I do. But from my understanding, they can go as low as $10 a night. I asked somebody yesterday, and she told me yes, the cheapest one she heard no 500 pesos. So, and I'm pretty sure you can go lower than that or whatever. But I don't know if you want something. And I think the limit is the sky, right? You can't put a price on someone how much they want to charge. But I think 500 pesos, $10 USD is the lowest I've heard. Um, do the taxis rip you off in Thailand? Hell, oh, in Thailand, yes. Not as much. So, taxis in Phuket, you'll get ripped off. To Phuket and smaller islands where the taxi services actual like organization where they rip you off, it's 3 to 4 times as much price per taxi than it is in Bangkok. In the Philippines, taking a taxi is much more simple because they speak English. You get in a car, you tell them where to go, they start the meter. It's a lot less of a hassle here in the Philippines, from my experience. But you can always use those apps like Grab, Lyft, Bolt, whatever, to get a taxi. It gives you the exact number. Do you have regular income or any job? How do you get money to travel the world? Sunny G, how do I get money? I'm broke, guys. There's no money coming in from anywhere. See this phone? This right here, broken phone. It's a Samsung S8. This is what I use to edit my videos, and that's why sometimes my videos are short because there's not enough data on this phone to go ahead and make a proper video. I have money coming in because I rent my home in Canada. I have some passive income that way. I do a little bit of consulting. Not really. I don't like to promote it, but somebody wants to like get a Thai pass. They don't want to fill up the application themselves. They send me a little bit of money to do that. Now that YouTube's been monetized, I get a little bit of ads from there. And sometimes nice people like yourself send me like super stickers, super chats, and that's a little bit of income as well. But as far as like, I have a very simple life, guys. My budget is not that much. I don't cook food here, so I eat out every day. But I don't smoke or I don't drink, so that reduces the cost. I live very comfortably in an apartment, so I'm not living in poverty, guys. I'm living very comfortably here, but it's not something that I don't go out partying or just like spending money lavishly. But I live a very comfortable lifestyle, and you can do it too by not spending too much money. Um, Mariner said, Miramar says, you're not out of line. You're correct. Thank you. And Tom Jones says, your categories of woman is spot on. Your challenge really has great insight. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Tom. I really appreciate that. I'm going to try to put more effort onto this channel because I want to put out more content, but I've been losing some motivation, to be honest. The videos are not getting as much views, so it kind of discourages me to make them the regular content because the editing takes so much time. I think I'm going to be more like this, like do vlog where I'm just talking, no editing, no filters, just like tell you guys exactly how to show you guys some of the areas. Let me know if that's something you guys would rather see than some like polished up edited video. Norman says, does Grab work in Phuket? The taxis there are hella expensive, but they do wait for you. Grab does work in Phuket, but you may not get many cars, so they're afraid of the taxi mafia. They're Grab drivers, and you might have to still pay more than a regular taxi, anyways. Taxis are the worst part of Phuket. I think it's a complete scam, and even the officials know about it, and they released like a chart of what's acceptable, and people question that. Even why do you consider this to be acceptable? Even like some of the locals and other foreigners there, because like it doesn't make any sense at all. It's just a complete scam, unfortunately. So that's something you have to kind of work out if you're living in Phuket, to either get a motorbike or just have a private driver that drives you around all day, kind of thing instead. Larry said, if you bank with HSBC, your ATM withdrawal fee from other banks will be reimbursed. The HSBC one in Cebu City and Manila. Thank you, Larry. That's a great tip for everybody. Larry says to use the HSBC bank because they reimburse you for your ATM fees. Roy, have you tried to get Pocket Wi-Fi? There are many monthly deals. I haven't because I don't need it, right? So right now I have this home PLDT that comes with this place, and I feel like if this landline even is not strong enough, I don't think a pocket Wi-Fi is going to do me. I do have data on my phone to do a hotspot, but it's not as strong as Thailand's hotspot data. In Thailand, I was able to use a hotspot to do live streams, upload videos, and do video calls. Everything was great. And the Phuket, because they just recently were hit with a typhoon in December, they're still recovering from some of that. I don't think they're 100% fully up and running. So I don't want to put too much blame on this place. Of course, it's not negativity, guys. I'm just trying to say and tell you guys what it is. Yeah, so right now I think that Thailand for sure wins internet. But thank you, Roy. You can definitely get some Wi-Fi and monthly deals like that. If you guys are come here for a month and your place has no internet, instead of signing like a year contract or 6 months, you can get a pocket Wi-Fi. Casey Diaz, do you plan on visiting other areas in the Philippines? Yes, for sure. So, Casey, I plan to visit islands. I plan to go to different places. I just rather not do them by myself, to be honest. I want to see if I can make a friend. Actually, tomorrow, one of the subscribers from Canada, he's going to be here. I'm excited to meet him. He's been trying to get in touch with me since Thailand, but he happens to be in Cebu, so we're going to go out for dinner. I think that'll be fun. But yeah, I'll definitely visit some other places. Martin Saunders. Hey, Martin. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing a great job, Alex, with all the relevant information that's going on Thailand and the Philippines. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate the support. Guys, on that note, if you want to support me and if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, both Living Abroad channel and Traveling Abroad, which is my news channel as well. So that would mean a lot to me. Norman says T-Mobile works really good here in the Philippines. I don't know if you're being serious or a joke. I'm not sure if T-Mobile is here. I don't know. Maybe it is. I have no idea. I don't know if that's sarcasm or that's like a because I know T-Mobile sucks in the U.S. right? So where we at here? We Diaz playing. Okay, next question. Compared to when I was back in Thailand, weird, huh? Okay. Okay, thanks, Norman. Awesome. So that's it. That's the last question we have. Perfect. We've done 51 minutes. We're going to keep this going, guys. We're 20 people watching this. Why not? As long as there's people watching, I'm willing to talk, willing to compare, willing to share my experiences. One thing you guys got to understand, though, let's put all the negativity, all that stuff aside, right? I never plan to live in Canada again. I'm never going back unless there's a specific reason, unless I have to deal with family or my home or something related issues. Guys, living abroad open your eyes to so many different things. I'm more happy now than I've ever been in my life. I'm never going back to the office. I'm never working again as far as a 9 to 5 hamster wheel bullshit. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking down to anybody that's doing that job. It's just not for me because I myself, I am single, no wife, no kids, and I have very little or low cost of living. I don't have any responsibilities. I don't have to take care of my kids or my parents. So for me, I need a purpose in life, right? So that's it for me, traveling and sharing my experiences. Now, I know not everybody's in that position, right? So I know maybe some of you guys are watching from a non-native English speaking country. Right then and there, you have the disadvantage, right? So, now that I can do this, why not take advantage and share this experience with you guys? Even if you're coming to Thailand or the Philippines for a month or 2 weeks, why not give back some by telling you guys how it is? Hey, I got a question. Dave, shoot. Dave Sharking. Tom Jones, Alex, I think you try to hook up with other YouTubers. I found out about you from Sunshine Shoulders, and the live stream is a little late for us in America and Canadians. It's past 11 p.m. Oh, okay. Thank you, Tom, for sure. Actually, I thought that would be, I'll be honest, I meant to do it at 9, but I woke up late and I went to the gym and I still wanted to do it. I thought I'd try it out. I'm going to do another one maybe this evening for my morning viewers. But you're right. Next time, I'll take that into consideration, Tom, for sure. We'll do it a little bit earlier, maybe around 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate the feedback. And you're right. I'll try to hook up with other YouTubers to do collaborations. I got Sunshine Shoulders. I met with Pete and another YouTuber as well. So I've met 3 people already, which has helped to grow the channel a little bit, but hopefully we get more people tuning in. So Dave, before I get to your question, let's go down to Norma says, hey, is Mango Avenue open in Cebu? I don't know. I know Mango Avenue is like the place to be, the downtown area, the red light district with bars and stuff. I can go there tonight and tell you, or tomorrow with my friend, and we'll see. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But my cameras, both the GoPro and Sony ZV, they're horrible at night and low light video, so I never do nighttime stuff. But I might just do one to share that with you guys. I think they're open because there's a bar, like a rooftop bar, Avenir. I used to live there. The top is open and it's a really nice place. If you guys ever come into Cebu City, check it out. It's called Avenir Condo. So I read it here. They got a nice rooftop bar, and it's really nice. I'll check it out. Let you guys know. Norman, I envy you, homie. You got the life. Thank you, Norman. And I realize that. I know I'm privileged. I know I'm blessed. I have no. Yeah, I'm very aware of my situation, and that's another reason why I made this channel because I wanted to document my life as well as my saying. I say you can live through me is because of that specific thing. Not everybody has a chance And why not give back with information or some sort of, at least if you're stuck in the office, you can watch some footage of like Thailand or the Philippines, right? Oh, and that's one more thing. I'm gonna do a lot more just walking around stuff. I'm gonna focus on YouTube a lot more, guys. I think I'm gonna just go all in, go like balls to the wall, just hit like just go hard and see what happens for 2 months and see if it makes a difference to the channel and whether the YouTube revenue is gonna be enough for me to live off of. That'll be the dream eventually. Um, Dave says, "How did NL City compare to Thailand? How about NL City compared to Manila?" I didn't go there, so I don't know. To be honest, I know I met Calvin from Sunshine Shoulders, but he happened to be sitting in a cafe in Cebu when I ran into him, which was like a huge coincidence. So I've never been there. If anybody knows, because I know that's like a really, really big like party town. I think because the military was there at some point. But NL City is like the Pattaya of the Philippines, from my understanding. So if anybody, if I can't even talk, if anybody knows anything about that city, share your experiences with us. Yes, of course, Dave. I remember you from Thailand. Definitely. We didn't get a chance to meet, but um, I hope you had a great time. Um, Sorry, let me catch up, guys. Norman says Anhel City sucks compared to Thailand. There's your answer. And Larry also says travel vlogging is saturated in the Philippines. You will need to carve out your own niche. It will take some time. Thanks, Larry. Yeah, that's the other thing. So there's a lot of people you can watch online, right? You can click on any video. So I'm hoping that if anybody's watching my videos, it's not really for the content, to be honest. It's for me, or maybe what I'm saying, or maybe a different, kind of thing than what you see online sometimes. But you're right, travel vlogging is becoming a complete saturated market. But luckily for me, I didn't start this to be a YouTuber, so I still want to just document my journey in life. And if somebody wants to watch it, perfect. It's not my primary goal, but yeah, thank you, Larry. I'll try to see what works for me and just kind of go from there. Norma says, except for the gambling part, they got casinos. I don't know what's going on there. Um, They play poker. Which one is better for people who don't like extremely hot climates? Have been to Bangkok and found it too hot. Any cooler mountain areas in either country? From my own experience, I know Chiang Mai is a lot cooler. So, and I lived in Chiang Mai for a few months. It's a beautiful place, Chiang Mai, except for burning season. That's when they burn all the crops and the pollution gets to the world's worst at some points, some days. Check out Chiang Mai. It's a really big digital nomad city. They have lots of cafes and like little restaurants, and lots of like vegetarian options if you're like a vegan and things like that. I highly recommend Chiang Mai. It's a little bit mountainous. Doesn't have a beach nearby, but you can really enjoy the hikes, the mountains, the elephant sanctuaries if you find a good one that doesn't abuse the animals, which I doubt you will. But yeah, check out Chiang Mai. Which one is better? We just did that. I do, lol. Right, and best tip ever. If you like to gamble, go to Clark City. Cool. Norman, in Manila, go to Pasay, huge resort casino there. Cool. Dave, in January, Norman for poker. You guys can read the gambling stuff. Miramar says in the Philippines, Baguio, Malabalay, and Salvador. You guys know a lot about the Philippines. I don't know nothing. Never get above 85 degrees Fahrenheit, even if the hottest months is 74 in Baguio right now in the middle of summer. Oh, cool. Thank you for, so Miramar has some suggestions for the Philippines cooler weather. That's not bad. So let's move on to some other topics, guys. So we talked about so far what accommodation, communication, food, women. Did we really talk about women? Not really. I mean, we talked about them, but I didn't say which one's better. Huh. I'll leave that one up to you guys. What else? That's pretty much it. What internet and then transportation. So transportation, I think Thailand, as far as Bangkok and even Manila, I'm sure they got so much traffic there. I think more options in Bangkok as far as transportation, like apps and motorbikes and boats and ferries and sky trains and MRTs and like buses and all these things. Although in Cebu at least, there's still plenty of options. And here they have a lot of motorbikes, so you can just get in the back of a motorbike. And in Cebu, at least they give you a helmet. Where in Thailand, In Bangkok, they didn't give you a helmet. So if you guys want to take that risk, I wouldn't unless you're a really big risk taker. Don't get on the back of those motorbikes. You get into an accident, and who knows what can happen. And what else? So transportation, I still think Thailand would probably win overall. Um, so what's involved with going back and forth between Thailand and the Philippines, visa and restrictions, etc.? Okay, good question. So Thailand right now still has a Thai pass. So that's always going to be an issue until that's removed. In the Philippines, it's much simpler. You just need a one health pass, 35,000 USD insurance. Oh, one thing I didn't mention earlier that's annoying. Although Thailand technically still have to show an onward ticket or a return flight ticket, they never ask me, and they usually don't ask people. Sometimes they might, depending on which country you're coming from, but most Canadians, Americans, Western countries, they don't hassle or bother asking them whether they have an onward ticket or return ticket when entering Thailand. However, in the Philippines, that's mandatory. They asked me a couple of times, and they even checked my fake ticket into the system. Luckily, it was registered. So here in the Philippines, you also need that to show an onward ticket or that you're leaving the country within the 30 days of your arrival. Now, I bought just a fake onward ticket from that site, which is like legit information, but not a real ticket. When they check, they see it's there, but it's not a real ticket. It was 15 US dollars, best money I ever spent. I don't want to buy a actual ticket if I don't know when I'm leaving, right? Because I don't know when I'm leaving, so I didn't buy a ticket. I don't even know where I'm going after this, so I didn't buy a ticket. And so yeah, that's one more thing to keep in mind is that. But between the two countries, that's what you'll need. Going to Thailand, you still need your Thai pass that comes with all the stuff as of right now until that changes. Into the Philippines, you need insurance, outbound ticket, 35 insurance, I said already, one health pass, and then the regular travel stuff. Dave says, I hear Philippine women speak better English and a little bit softer in appearance. Yes, those are correct. We mentioned that earlier in the live stream. Philippines women all speak fluently. Like you can have a discussion about anything. If you're that type of guy, if you want in-depth conversations, if you want to discuss like, which most people I'm sure do, their English is much better. Shane Hinch, what visa did you have in Thailand? In Thailand, I just had a regular visa on arrival. I didn't need a visa as a Canadian. I just had a tourist visa. Well, not even a tourist visa, just visa on arrival. It gave me 30 days. I extended it one more time. It gave me another 30 days. So I was there up to 6 months, sorry, 2 months. After that, I got the COVID extension, which is additional 2 months because that's what's going on still right now. They give you this, like, I guess, this privilege of staying 2 months additional because of COVID. So I stayed there 4 months, but after that, I could not renew my visa again. That's why I'm here in the Philippines. Norma says Thai women are better, in my opinion. Some are good cooks. Yes, so better is a very it's relative, right? What do you mean better, right? If cooking is a thing, Thai woman, hands down. If like taking care of you, I don't know. I mean, it's very hard to differentiate some of the. All I know, both Thai women and Filipino women are miles ahead of Western women, in my opinion. If you want to feel like a man in a relationship, Asian woman. If you want to feel like there's actually a relationship, Asian woman. Western women, generally speaking, there's nothing wrong with this. Don't get me wrong. This is my personal opinion. They're very, very opinionated to the point of argumentative. So let's say I'm talking about something, they can't simply either agree or it's always like butting heads. And I'm a very direct person. I think I'm a little bit an extrovert, maybe a little bit aggressive. So I can't have my partner have the same kind of mentality, right? We're just going to be fighting and butting heads the whole time. So Asian women tend to like balance me a little bit. I have anger issues. I got problems. I got not mental problems, but I get frustrated easily. I'm not perfect. So I think Asian women have a lot more patience and they can kind of like let you freak out for no reason and then apologize after and just be normal. Whereas a Western woman will just fight you to the death about the same issue, right? Without being asked, for example. So yeah, Chiang Mai gets hot as fuck in summertime. Over 100. It's only nice in the winter. Thanks, Gio. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's still like tropical climate in any city, right? Gio said I was told by cheap throwaway ticket to Kotak, whatever. Canabula Malaysia, if you want to go to the Philippines, Cebu Pacific is cheap. Yes, you're right. Very right. Norma says, "How much is ticket to Cebu from Manila? Last time I checked was 4,000 pesos one way. So four times two, $80. That's about right. It depends on which time, what day. I have no idea. I haven't checked recently. I think between 2,000 to 4,000, maybe somewhere around there. Which women have worse attitude in general? Mm, I don't think any of them, honestly. I can't think of. Thai women are sweet and kind and polite, and so are like Filipinas. They don't bother me in any way. I don't see myself like I'm much calmer around Asian women in general for some reason. And Norman says price gouge here in the Philippines for flights. I think, yeah, right now, Norman, from what I understand, I've heard before. Right now, flight tickets are really high. Now I don't know why that is, because I think people are starting to travel again because I think maybe they know they can kind of exploit that situation. I know it's because of the Holy Week as well. Everybody's flying back to see their families. Um, yeah, it might be some of those things going on, and maybe just reduce flight options, right? When you can monetize or monopolize, I should say, an industry, that's what happens. You get to do what you want with the prices with very little oversight and so on and so forth. I don't want to get into conspiracy theories of corruption, whatever. But yeah, if nobody's like, you know, saying anything, they could just do what they want. So we talked about so many things today, guys. We can continue, but I don't know where my water went. And I don't know why I'm like, oh, yesterday I went to Carbon, which is like the local market here in Cebu. It's like super like a wet market with a watermelon, like fruits everywhere and just really local vibe. You know, I had a great time just to like. There was not a single tourist around, and it was everyone just living their like. There was not a single tourist around, and it was everyone just living their life, doing their thing. And I tried some street food, which was doing their thing, and I tried some street food which wasn't good at all. It was quail eggs, fish with some batter. I had some coconut juice. Long story short, I think I ate too many different things and variations. And for the first time in probably 10, 20 years, I threw up. So I vomited. Now, that could be my own fault because my body, but this, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, some random story, I guess. um, oh, Dave has a good point. The price of gas has also gone up. Yeah, so I'm sure that's affecting the flights. Dude, you're buffering. LOL slow connect. Buffering. LOL slow connection. This is what I mean, right? So I'm here. Is anybody else seeing me buffer, or is it just maybe Norman's thing, Wi-Fi? Larry said, "What would you normal tip to give to a Filipina who meet online or through acquaintances and spend 2 weeks traveling with you?" Huh? What would be normal tip to give to a Filipina? A normal tip? What do you mean? Like, how would you pay them? Hey, Larry, that's a very interesting question. Can you clarify that or just reword it, rephrase it? Normal tip. Dave says, show us the beaches and best snorkeling in Cebu. I definitely will. So, Dave, once I get out there and start doing things, I'm still kind of in the getting settled in phase. I'm a very lazy, slow traveler. But yeah, I'll do that for sure. And Norman also says, careful with the street food here, broda. I don't know why I read that like that. You mean broda. I don't know why I read that like that. You mean brother. Yeah, so yeah. I will definitely be careful. Polar Bear said it's buffering a few times. BS. See what I mean? Like this is, it says your connection is unstable. Wait for a while to reconnect. I don't want to end the stream, guys. So hopefully this connection improves. Maybe I can try the Wi-Fi here. Just give me a second, guys. I don't want to end the stream like this. This would be great if I can fix it. Yeah, now I get a message saying it's buffering. So hold on. Yeah, I don't know what to do, guys. There's nothing I can do. Oh, I think that made it better. No, I did not. I'm going to continue until it's like unbearable, guys. Sorry about the buffering. Um, Norman says you can get food poisoning here, not as clean here. Yeah, I've noticed that too. So generally speaking, this once again very vague generalization of a whole country, but I've noticed a lot more like trash on the street than I did in Thailand and any of the cities I travel to. I see much more trash on the street here than Thailand. So another thing that if it bothers you or not, um, my T-Mobile data works better here. Yeah, I know the internet's horrible, guys. You know, it's very difficult to be working online or digitally when the connection is horrible. I was talking to someone and they told me that they have the option of working from home, but because the internet's so bad, they've been going to work, so at least they can get some work done. So I don't want to drag people through this, but I guess this is a good time. How much is an escort, Larry? Depends on the quality of service. A purpose, or suppose $100 a day would be a good deal, I think, for someone you dig. Yeah, so Dave has a good point. You know, there's no, some people just do it for free, right? If some girl, you give her a hotel room, experiences like on a boat, snorkeling, why would you pay them? They should pay you, right? So it depends on like what your standards are and how much you value yourself and your time, or what your, you know, if you want no headache, it's really up to you, guys. There's no right or wrong answer. You can go anywhere from free to like, you know, as expensive as you want, depending on the type of girl you want to be with for that day or week that you mentioned, or 2 weeks. I mean, if that's your thing, I would recommend maybe have a few different packages. The GFE, the girlfriend experience. Dave or anybody else can help Larry. How much would a girl cost for 2 weeks? Let us know. Can you do a video on swimming with the whale sharks there in Cebu if they still have that thing? Thanks. Yeah, Norman, I did the whale shark swimming last time. It was great, man. I tell you, it was a quite the experience. If I go again this time, I'll definitely do one for you guys, which I'm sure I will. So I'm gonna say yes to that. Shane Hinch said, "Did you sell your belongings in Canada?" Shane, I didn't sell anything because me, well, except for my car, but it was a used Honda. It wasn't a big deal. But no, I rented my home out fully furnished. And I told the people that are living there that basically, as long as there isn't, like, if they don't break the TV, for example, but it dies, like, but I didn't want to store my stuff, and I didn't have many stuff. My sofa, everything was like moderately new, so I rented my home fully furnished. I don't have much stuff. Like, it's not like I own a property or with like luxurious artifacts. No, I had nothing. Basically, it was like a regular home, and I'm renting it fully furnished. So I'm not really needing to put it into like storage or anything like that. So aside from my car, I live it from a suitcase, guys. Like, I'm traveling light. I have like maybe 10 or 20 shirts and a few pairs of pants. And as you can see from my videos, I'm usually wearing like the similar things over and over. So I don't travel and do things for other people. And that's what I like to do when I left my home. I didn't want to do things. Why would I keep my sofa? I just use it, right? And I just kind of incorporate that into the cost when I rented out my home. And I didn't have much toys or tools or things like some people do. But I would recommend anybody just sell your shit. Like, don't bring anything aside from some basic things. Sell everything. Don't even bother storing it. It doesn't make sense that, like, just live your life detached from all that crap from home. From the video I've seen, it seems like hip hop gangster culture is very big in the Philippines. Looks a lot more dangerous. Thailand seems more traditional Asian. That's a very good observation. I did notice a lot of hip hop vibes here as well. I don't know how else to mention it. So I don't know how much hip hop vibes, because depending on which kind of hip hop, like 20s, 1920s, 2020s hip hop is very different than 1990s and 2000s hip hop. Because I grew up with hip hop, and it was a lot more gangster than today's like face tats and colored hair and all that. But good point, James. Tom Jones said, "Do you know how much you spent each month for your time in Thailand?" That was one very bad thing about me. I didn't really keep track of my spending, but I was honestly living for under 1,000 US dollars. I would say around 800, and I never not eat a meal. I never did a thing I didn't want to do. I lived very comfortably, guys, for a single guy, and I didn't split any of my costs with anyone. Now I was lucky that Palm paid for herself or whatever. So if you're coming here and you find a girl that you want to pay for, now that might increase a little bit, of course, or not a little bit, a lot probably. But if you're living by yourself and spending for yourself, you could easily do for under 1,000 without having to live poorly, as somebody mentioned once. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, you could live around 1,000 comfortably. If you want to live a little bit better life, around 1,500, you'll have a very comfortable life, especially when my apartment was $260. How much food could I eat in a day? How much experiences can you do? How many taxis can you take? Like, what else do you really want? You know. So for me and my lifestyle, it was really doable for around $1,000. Um, Dave says, I think the whale shark is a come on. It might be hard to know when the whale sharks will be around. Yeah, you're right. But the bad thing is though they kind of feed them. They're not supposed to apparently, but they feed them at a certain time. So when I went there, I swam with three or four of them. They're like huge. They're the size of like school buses. It's funny because I said, "Hey, don't swim closely to the sharks." I'm like, "Buddy, it's not my choice. They're bumping into me. I'm not that shit." What else can we talk about? Tinder, Philippines, tons of hoes. Yes, Norman, there are tons of hoes. There are tons of hoes anywhere. You don't have to come to the Philippines for hoes. There's hoes in your own country. So hoes is what you want. Don't fly across the world to get hoes. Just pay 100 or 200, whatever, for your hoe in your home country. But if you want to come here, in addition to all that, then yes, there's plenty of hoes here for. If you want to pay for that, that's your choice. Do what you got to do. But just remember, hoes also got playboys and fuckboys on their list in Tinder. You're not the only one they're talking to, so don't get your feelings hurt or your penis hurt. Who knows what kind of nonsense going on around there. So yeah, what else? That's it. I think we're doing great. An hour and 16 minutes. Awesome. I don't see any more comments. I hope that this stream is still available and good for after this viewership when it's finished. We got some more Tinder. Okay, I just making a suggestion for the dude who was looking for hoes. Yeah, Norman, no, there's nothing wrong with hoes. Hoes, of course. I got hoes in different area codes, right? You guys remember that song, Ludacris? Anyways, yeah, nothing wrong with hoes, guys. Hoes are people. Actually, I'll be honest. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say it. But anyways, I never dealt with hoes, but hoes are a part of life and culture, and hoes are treated very differently, I think, in Asia than the U.S. or Canada. The way they see it as a service they're providing, and it's just like another job. You're exchanging a service for money. I think um, kind of there's no like looking down on the whole industry. I think it's just part of the culture for sure. Yeah, that's it. Dave says, "Hey Larry, my advice is not to get involved with a girlfriend experience. Just do a single transaction relationship, then bounce off to the next one." Dave, I also second that notion. Yes, I agree. Where do you book for the whale shark tour? I didn't book anywhere. Last time I went there, it was me and my friend, my best friend at the time, and him and I we met another friend who had a car, drove us there, and just asked directly at the booth area. There were like tickets, and so we were lucky, I guess. But I'm sure anywhere online or any office you walk around here that has like tourism stuff, you can get them. And yeah, it was kind of fun. I can't remember how much we paid though. I think maybe it was around 20 to 40 US dollars, something like that. But it's definitely worth it. You can't come here and not do it. For sure, do it. Martin says, call, listen into all the comments, signing off from New Zealand. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. And you can read the comments later on. And Tom Jones says, enjoy your time. Take care. You are an awesome guy. Thank you, guys. I think this will be perfect then. A good time to end this. I'm not going to mention everybody by name, but thank you guys all for watching this, commenting, helping me continue this conversation for over an hour. Like, I know this is not a real comparison. This is just my comparison of the two places I visited and the things I've noticed. And hopefully it was a little bit helpful for some of you guys, or just some place to vent a little bit or comment or share your opinions. Larry's looking for hoes. I have Filipino girlfriend. Oh, he's not. He's not looking. Sorry, Larry. He's not looking for hoes. He has a Filipino girlfriend. And Norman says, peace, bro. Stop eating street food. Yeah, I think I should. WS, sorry, bro, you're late. It's okay. You can rewatch the stream. I'm going to do another one probably either tonight or tomorrow in the evening, just to give a chance to other people that weren't here to participate. I think it'll be fun. Nursa always says thank you. Thank you. And yeah, fun times, guys. Thank you guys once again. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I think the next few videos are going to be exciting. So keep an eye, turn a bell notification on. I'm going to do an interview with Calvin from Sunshine Shoulders. And I'm going to interview some random girls on the street to see if they think I'm handsome and what number they give me from 1 to 10. So I think that'll be fun. See you guys later. Bye. I don't know how to say bye to people, but I guess that's one way. How do you end this thing?